Just gone on our second go-around. We've accumulated 3,000 echoes, which is a pretty solid amount of echoes to be accumulating, and now we have to decide how to spend that. The short answer is, well, first things first, I do believe I have a bolt of spider silt that I missed. I'll sell that for 50. The muter salt stays. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to address first. First things first, I want to address my officers. I have this fantastic chief engineer, the genial magician, who I believe, yes, I can ask him with supplies, how he became to be an engineer. Alright, finding a serpent image will continue the genial magician's story. Those can be found in Iram and sometimes Vendor Bite, I believe. So let's see here, what else can we got? We have Maybe's daughter. We have a strange catch, so we can speak with her as well. And learning her secrets. Maybe's quest is one of the most important quests, or one of the easiest quests to fulfill, and it basically involves traveling through Wither, Isle of Cats, Iram Chelinate, Con Shadowport Carnelian, or the surface port of Naples. Going to all of these places is quite good. It's also good to run through some of the Salt Lion quests here, as having the Salt Lion's quests will decrease your chances of losing Maybe's daughter. I might need to do that very early on, in fact. Alright, what else? Merciless Mediste requires Zoop and Solace Fruit, so she's not anyone that we need to talk to just yet. The Cannoneer requires 5 supplies. I'm quite happy to buy them. This is also quite likely to damage my hull. It's currently at 42 out of 75. So I'll probably be fixing it up anyways. Let's go ahead and speak to him. Oh, I need torpedo components as well. This is one that you definitely want to do here. 3, 4, 5. The Irrepressible Cannoneer has a very intense quest, but it's well worth doing. 10 fuel, 5 supplies, and 5 torpedo components to demonstrate some ideas that he's had. I lost all the fuel, all the supplies, and all the torpedo components. This was a good thing to do while I had a decent amount of money ahead of time. Also get a Tale of Terror, and I can travel to Demo Island to continue the Cannoneer's quest. Officer quests are extremely important, and the Cannoneer's is one of the ones that's going to be high on our list. I think actually I'm going to be trying fairly hard to complete both the Cannoneer and the Genial Magicians. I don't recall if I have already spoken to the Sigil-ridden Navigator, but if I haven't, I will certainly do so now. Let me check first. No, I am not learning about the Sigil-ridden Navigator at the moment. So we will purchase some supplies and speak with him. I do not know how I have lost my memories, but in order to find it, I must go to the Avid Horizon. Oh, no, okay, he wants to go to the Chapel of Lights to find his lost memories. Okay, so fantastic. Alrighty then. And the Haunted Doctor, we've already spoken to the Haunted Doctor, but if I were to give him some wine, I believe that would open up his quest as well, and I can buy wine here, so that works out perfectly. His time as a doctor and anarchist poisoner. A child, a boy on a crusade, a disappointment well learned. We receive some tales of terror, and yes, we lose the mushroom wine. Okay, so that about fulfills all of our officer quests at the moment. We can't do anything with the Modiste until we have Solace Fruit and Zoop. So we will keep an eye on that. Alright, so next thing we have just need to go down the list and check on things that are worth doing. We've already turned in our port reports, correct? Yes. We have strategic information that we're waiting to turn into vital intelligence, so we're not going to be doing anything with that. The Alarming Scholar, have we dropped off everything we need to with him? Intriguing snippets are probably useful to keep around, same with Z-Stories and Memories of Distant Shores. I want at least 7 of both of those. The Venturer's Desires, this is something that I can get with anybody. He will offer 2 different things, and one of them is oftentimes more expensive. This one's 1,000 echoes for 7 sealed skins of Zoop, which Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. I can think of a couple of different places to get it. They sell it in Mount Palmerston, of course, at 5 for 70 apiece. They're 350, I think, which is well worth the 1,000. And meter salt is quite expensive up in Wither. Next thing, London. I believe I have someone waiting for me. No, I do not. Okay. However, I can carouse in the Wolfstack docks. Which did not turn out particularly well. I have 6 out of 7 crew members. It's best to hire on when I'm running that low with claymen, since once you go below half, you can only travel at half speed, which is just generally terrible. The Roser's Wharf, unlead red logs, and scintillax are both worth quite a bit of money here, so those are things that we can keep an eye out for at a later time. So now that we have our lodgings, let's check out the rest in a room among the Blind's helpers. That only loses us 1 terror, but it does lose us the wounds. And since it's only losing us 1 terror, it's time to go ahead and purchase that elegant townhouse. 1,000 echoes. Resting here costs 100 echoes, but reduces your terror by 15, which is quite substantial. It also reduces Menace's yearning burning, which is well worth doing. Okay, so now that we have the townhouse, we can also go inside, visit our study, and consider making things. Writing a will is probably worth doing. It costs 200 echoes. Probably worth doing very early on, just to be sure that, you know, you get to keep that 1,000 cost lodging and any heirlooms you've accumulated. It's fine. It's worth the sink. I'm planning on basically making this a 1 captain run, but if something goes wrong, I'll certainly probably be wanting to play again, so... And also, if my captain is extremely successful, I will be wanting to play again. So we'll go ahead and make that will now while we have a lot of money to throw around. Okay, so we're doing pretty well here. Things that we're looking at here, of note, all of these things cost 7 of some item or some particular item and then 7 secrets. And you get, in exchange, 7 of a particular stat. So it's very similar to talking to your people. However, one of the things that we can see right here is that a monstrous almanac costs me 7 pages, or 7 secrets for 7 pages. And there's actually no way to raise pages through officers. There's only 1 officer in the game who does it, and you only get him if you are the natural philosopher. You'll probably drop him off pretty early on, unless you're hoarding him because he's got that fantastic ability to raise pages. But in any case, building out these costs 7 outlandish artifacts. I know for a fact that I saw up in Wither or Venterbite, one of those places buys the Monstrous Almanac for 1,000 echoes, which means that I actually make a profit on the outlandish artifacts, and I get pages out of it. So storing up secrets as well as outlandish artifacts seems like a lovely idea, and we're going to start doing that. Something I was considering while I was planning out the next leg of this run. So that's going to be one of our goals. However, the main goal that we have right now, I think, is the Genial Magician. I'm very interested in his questline. There appears to be a unique engine associated with him, which I cannot buy, but is sometimes shown. What's it called? The Serpent something or other? The Serpentine. Yes, so the Magician claims. And looking at this engine, it looks like it's something I might want. It's a little bit powerful than my current engine. It's got fuel efficiency plus 10%, and it provides hearts and veils 5. None of that's actually all that great. In comparison to my current steeple engine, that's about an 1,000 improvement. It's good enough to power some of the tougher areas, but you know, as you can see, a 2,000 cost engine, which I could have purchased, would certainly do roughly the same thing. However, that 10% fuel efficiency seems pretty cool. I'm pretty interested in getting like kind of sort of a middling engine that also has fuel efficiency. Combined with We Are Clay, that could lead to some cheap trips early on, which should allow us to accumulate wealth a little bit faster. Alright, we're keeping our meter salt here, so now the question is, what do we want to buy? Firkins of Prisoner's Honey will get us Blemigans. Sacks of Dark Drop Coffee Beans will get us a lot of stuff going on in the the lower area, going up to Vienna. That's somewhere that we'll definitely be interested in later, but I don't think that's on our list this time around. Instead, what I'm probably going to run for is I'm going to go... Oh, I do, however. I'm going to go to Wither for that serpent image. I'm going to need at least 1 sack of Dark Drop coffee beans. And indeed, I'm kind of considering buying quite a few more because I've already got... if I could spend 500 echoes on 10, then I could get myself access to the Nephrite Quarter in Khan's Shadow, which is something I'm fairly interested in. But there's cheaper places to buy it, and also that's going to really cut into my supplies. What else have I got in my supplies? 21 fuel. I basically just need to buy supplies now. Okay, 7 supplies is more than enough. So now that we're looking at 10 more spaces to fill, I think it's right to go ahead and try to fill things up. And for that reason, I think actually this plan to open up the Nephrite Quarter is going to be a thing. Nope, never mind, I lied. I've got a better idea. Instead, we're going to buy more supplies, roughly 15. And we're going to buy a little bit more fuel, 23. And we're going to set straight sail for Venderbite, because there is a quest in Venderbite that requires supplies. Alright, and that's the planning stage. Let's go ahead and take our trip. Our ship engine has not been upgraded. We have not largely upgraded anything, in fact. Oh, hang on a sec, 1387, do I want to turn around real quick? No, I think we're good. I think I want to keep a hold of those 1,000 echoes for one more go around, and then start looking at big guns and big engines on our next trip. In the meantime, however, we're going to float up to Hunter's Keep. We have the recent news that we need to get going, and get these sisters to visit with us once more. The Irrepressible Cannoneer wants to go to the Iron and Misery Funging Co., correct? Demo Island? That's way down there. Okay, so that's not on our list immediately. Instead, we're going to work our way over this direction. Alright. We can reconnoiter the island for a port report. Certainly worth doing. Sisters are not receiving visitors, but trading recent news will allow us to get their attention. And I think I'll just lunch in with the sisters, because Cynthia will sometimes give you Salt's attention, and that can actually be useful for a couple of things. We've got a little bit of terror, a little bit of iron. Oh man, we got an extra iron for that? That's fantastic. Okay, that's a really good start. And an extra supply. So with our port report done, we can just head... Oh! Looks like we managed to get ourselves a Sorrow Spider. Alright, let's smash the Sorrow Spider. Alright, so this man has unburdened himself. He is referring to the observatory and the lady, the liberation of night. The haunted doctor has now unburdened himself, and I've actually lost terror as a result. So yeah, that seems right. I don't know if I have to go back there now, or if I'll pick up some new things with the haunted doctor in just a little bit. In any case, let's travel up to Venderbite. We're gonna take the slightly rightwards path, just because we're a little interested in seeing a bit more of what's on this map. And I'm hoping to find the salt lands still. Sometimes they're to the right of Venderbite. Alright, looks like I'm not going to be able to do much with that, so we'll just go ahead and consider that some wasted fuel. Move on. Oh, my throat is getting a little bit sore today, but hopefully I'll be able to talk nonetheless. You can always refuel on water, which I've currently got just a little bit. I forgot to repair my hull before going out. That was a fairly rookie mistake. If I get into a fight, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, but for the most part I'm going to be avoiding fights this time around. Alright, so the Vengeance of Jonah, I can hire a cook here for 300 echoes, and I don't have a cook yet, so it's well worth doing. Especially since the bandage poisoning, I can't pronounce it. But yes, the bandage to Kook. The bandage Kook, he will let us know that, yes, he has an ambition for fish, a great ambition. If we can get our hands on another strange catch, and the muter salt that we have in our inventory will allow us to speak with him. Shouldn't be too hard to get a strange catch. They're in Iram, and we're going to Iram anyways. Alright, so let's take a quick exploration of Venderbite. Here's the Carmine Chapel. I don't think I want to make an offering here, so we'll go ahead and search the place. Alright, we failed. Too bad. But we'll just gather up our port report, and now, with 39 of 40 spaces, no, that's correct. Okay. The last tour operator is what we are currently after. I have 12 satin bandaged souls. With 12 supplies, I can replace those with 12 tomb colonists. So I'm going to do that. If I bring them all back, I get remunerated lavishly. If I don't bring them all back, I still get, I believe, 100 per tomb colonist, and that's a pretty sizable amount. First, they must go to Shepherd's Wash, the Shepherd's Isles, which, I don't think I unlocked the Shepherd's Isles, but I seem to recall it's pretty close to Abbey Rock. So that's probably, yeah, that's going to work just fine. However, I actually thought it was 10 supplies, so let's purchase just one more supply, just so that we don't run out. The tomb colonists have a tendency to occasionally eat your supplies, and we need to kind of be on the lookout for that. Alright, yeah, I'm pretty sure Shepherd Isles is actually in this section. I seem to recall when we passed by, I was informed that Shepherd Isles were there, but I was too busy looking for other things. And this will give me an opportunity to explore some other stuff as well. So we'll do that. Now these guys are actually pretty hard to keep alive. There are quite a few skill checks involved in keeping them alive, but typically you won't lose more than 2 or 3. And you can acquire new ones if you're very, very careful. I don't actually know where, but it is possible. We will see. It is one of the nice things about this quest, however, that the man who gives you the quest is quite clear that he doesn't really care if you bring back the same 12. A fun little bit of story that is also a acknowledgement of the engine's limitations. Alright, what are you? You are probably an Alcius class steed by the speed at which you're traveling, and I have run aground for being ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, still not seeing much of interest here. Did I get a Sooth and Copper long box from anywhere? I did not. So Station 3 will be largely unimportant to me. But we can certainly move by Abbey Rock and Station 3. Okay, keep checking our chart here just to make sure that we clear out some spaces. I'm rather bothered by black squares, so I like to try and keep them clear. It's also a good way of indicating where new fragments are, since you're trying to discover new things. What are you? Pirate Steampanons. Alright, Pirate Steampanons is totally worth picking a fight with, so we will do so. Alright, it saw me, but it's still going to take a loop. We'll turn our light on and get behind it. Oh. And it looks like my iron is actually quite terrible. I should maybe have gotten a better gun. 3 shots on a Pirate Steampanons is not good. That's okay now. We'll loot and scuttle her for a cache of curiosities, and we get 2 supplies out of that, which is excellent. Alright, my Veils is currently at 72. Bandaged Poisoner is raising my pages by just a little bit. And let's go ahead and send out that Z-Bat and see if the Shepherd's Isles are actually close. Yes, they're to the southeast. Fantastic. exactly as I suspected. Alright, again, I do not have a Sooth and Copper Longbox, so it's simply a port report here, and then move on. We won't stop at Abbey Rock since that's to the northeast, so it'll put us quite a bit off course. Better to sort of take the path of least resistance so that we don't waste too much fuel. Is my Terror red in here? If your Terror is red in the fog, it's perfectly reasonable to just turn your lights off, because if you're going to be accumulating red Terror anyways, then there's no reason to burn fuel while doing it. But I wasn't paying too close attention, so... Keep sending out my Z-Bat. I'm hoping the Salt Lions are fairly close to the south. But, all the same. Shepherd's Wash. With mushroom wine, I could have a picnic at the Stones. This is an interesting question. So I'm fairly certain that the reward for keeping these guys alive is pretty solid. And with a cask of mushroom wine as my result... Let's see here. Oh, I can't close this out, actually, so I don't actually have the opportunity to go back and get some mushroom wine. So it looks like a visit to the 3 graves is what we've got. 4 graves now, Captain. 4 graves. So we'll compile the report. But we'll keep in mind for the next time, carrying some mushroom wine with us will save us problems at the Shepherd Isles. Alright. Did I buy 5 coffee, perhaps? I did not. I only bought 1 coffee, so I cannot, in fact, go into Consart and cause a big stir. And there are the Salt Lands to the south. I actually forgot where it is I'm going with the Tomb Colonists. Polythreme. Polythreme is to the south as well, so we'll go ahead and divert to the Salt Lands real quick. Or... No, if we know that the Salt Lands are to the south, we'll want to catch them on our way back. So we'll just go ahead and take a trip this way. Basically, we always want to run into the Salt Lands when we're running low on fuel and supplies, and are just trying to get back to London with a mostly empty ship. Because the Salt Lands have the ability to create Stinkstone, and that takes about, oh goodness, are we actually in combat? That thing is very large and scary, and I'm going to turn my lights off. Shoo. Shoo. Away with you. Away. You cannot see me. It is foggy, and I have many veils. Oh my goodness, you're still chasing me. Stop chasing me. Alright, it lost me. See many pirates around Guiders Morn. It's a good time to have good guns. Taking down a pirate frigate is actually not all that hard, and the rewards are pretty great. But we decided not to upgrade our guns in favor of going on some of the more expensive quests, and I'm sticking by that decision. Okay, so Guiders Morn will lead fairly close to Polythreme. We'll take a stop at Consart and Con's Shadow, maybe do some refueling there. Also have some strategic information to gather somewhere. I have to remember where that is. Okay. Gather that intelligence. Oh. I got strategic information in addition to a port report. And we will explore the more. This is a matter of purchasing foods or not, and I think it's certainly worth just doing the simple thing that loses you terror. Nothing else here is particularly important. I've already heard the rumors of the pirate poet, so it's time to go on. Alright, if something awaits us in port, which it currently does not, then we can certainly stop at Consart and see if we can trigger that amazing event again that allowed us to get so much of the Leopard's Condescension. however, we're not currently there yet, so it might actually be okay to explore down into Polythreme first, especially since most of the other major cities are to the east or to the north, which means that we'll be stopping in Consort again anyways. And it'll also give us the opportunity to explore a little bit of this black area. There's the Tides of Appetite. Believe we've discovered those already. There's parts of the Bonny Reef. There's a wreck here sometimes that you can discover, but I could be wrong about that. Oh, and Demo Island, which we're actually quite keen on stopping at. And is not on the way to a lot of other places. Yeah, the Cannoneer will give us a quest there, I think, which might lead us to Station 3, and it might lead us to Aestival. Either way, I think it's worth stopping. Our hunger's still going pretty strong. This is a very long stretch of blank open sea. Not anything that I'm particularly interested in traversing a second time around. Kill the lights, accumulate the extra terror for it, and just swoop around to the left side of Demo Island. Okay. Iron and Miserico. Such a great name for a factory. Wow. Alright, a little bit of a mistake there. I have incidentally lost a captain to incidental damage from banging into things. I've actually done it within, I would say, a meter of the actual London proper. Alright, bargaining with the factor for a secret requires 200 echoes, so it's quite fortunate that I decided to leave town with a lot of the money that I had already just accumulated. So we'll go ahead and do that. Aestival to the east. It turns out I know about it. We'll take a quick brief... let's see here. I've already got the bandaged poisoner. So... that's not what it's called, but that's okay. Gathering supplies here will almost always accumulate terror, but it will get you extra supplies. I don't have a lot of supplies right now, so that's maybe worth doing once. Yeah, okay. 2 terror, 1 supply. Probably not worth doing again. And we'll go ahead and explore. Oh, a Blemigan colony. Observing the colony is quite difficult. And assaulting the colony is... I don't know. Seems unreasonable, but certainly have no reason not to try it. Fire into the purple mass. They seethe across the bog. Alright, I didn't know that you could actually lose crew members to Blemigans, but we have learned. Yes, let's go ahead and head up to Polythreme, shall we? Oh my. Gotta be a little careful with our crew. We don't want to fall below 4. I don't think we want to fall too 4, in fact. If we lose 2 more crew members, we're in a spot of trouble. One of the disadvantages of this ship. Alright, crossing the Antonine Abyss. Moving towards Godfall and Polythreme. There's a set of unfinished pirates up there. They're looping a bit towards me. I should probably turn my lights off, but I think I'm confident in my veils, and they shouldn't be able to detect me from this distance. Yep, looks like it went fine. It'd be really nice to actually get around behind them and just sort of wreck their day. But I think it's probably not worth trying at 40 hull with so much of the journey left to do. Once we return from our latest trip, we will buy ourselves a real gun, perhaps a better ship. Although perhaps that's somewhat hasty. Alright, so for a little money, for 20 echoes, I could potentially get an extra. Indeed, I've gained a tomb colonist. And it looks like I'm going to Irem, which is exactly where I want to go. We'll gather the intelligence on Polythreme, and we can carry Claymen to London. That is certainly a doable thing. The question is whether or not we want to. Do I want to be carrying 12 tomb colonists and 6 Claymen simultaneously? It's an interesting question. They're only worth 20 echoes apiece. It's largely not any better than supplies. Also appears that there's some risk that one of them might be an unfinished man. Yeah, I think I'm not going to do anything with that. So we'll just leave off. We could take a quick stop at Godfall for the port report. Since we're heading up to Irem, we'll probably go by way of Khan's Shadow. Or we could take the route through the Chelenate and the Empire of Hands. Oh, mercy, mercy me. I forgot to do the little quest at my lodgings that allows me to send someone to the Empire of Hands. I'll inquire about people's dreams. Oh, goodness. That's a lot of terror for failing. In any case, Godfall. Quite simple. Quite fun. Yeah. That actually makes our route a little bit worse, because we're not going to be stopping at the Empire of Hands. Do we have a quest to go to the Selenate for strategic information? That's in our journal. Should be in our objectives. Yes, the Selenate is indeed where we need our next bit of strategic information. I think that's worth doing, so we'll go ahead and go to the Melting Isles and the Mangrove College. It's a lovely place to stop anyways. And then we'll move on up. We did end up avoiding Khan's Heart, but you can't always pick the exact route that's going to be the most efficient for your needs. Let's travel down here. We can take advantage of that light and skim a little bit more off the chart. Alright, clipping along nice and fast. The Mangrove College awaits. And we can pick up a passenger here bound for somewhere else. Port Cecil. We'll need to go there at some point. Eating, drinking, and be merry here is quite good. Lowers a lot of terror. Gathering supplies is also quite good here. Oh, there are several solid options. Even beachcombing is quite good, but I think that eating, drinking, and being merry reduce a lot of terror, which is something that we need to worry about more than just about anything else at the moment. And now we can divert to the Chelenate. So fortunately, Irem was definitely on the list. I was hoping to go to the Empire of Hands as well, but I don't really see the point until I have the person who wants to go there. The Autumn Islands are to the north, and indeed those should be worth exploring, since we're just moving on through. I don't believe that the Autumn Islands have an actual dock of any kind. But they're a small, bright piece of islandy wonderfulness, where it is warm and hot, and they will constantly bother you by bat if you are not aware of them. So, okay. Continuing on to the Gant Pole, where many very scary large bones lie. Though ironically, these bones will reduce terror if you float near them. Just skim the waters here, keeping our fuel reserves in short order. What am I looking at here? That's the Savior's Rocks. Okay. And voila! A selenite. Oh, unfortunately my contact requires a hunting trophy. I was afraid that would happen. It looks like maybe his daughter has a chance to search for her mother here, so we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, but she gives me a hunting trophy. I've had that happen to me twice now, and it's happy every time. Okay, so the hunting trophy will allow me to get that commission. I now have another intriguing snippet, 3 Z stories, and the strategic information that I needed. Compile that port report. I believe the Bone Tails convert trophies into outlandish artifacts, which is not a very good deal, by and large. Shore leave is definitely not an option, and I'm not going to get a Monster Hunter because those are terrible, and you should feel very terrible for thinking about them. Let's see here. What do they have for other stuff? Stygian Ivory is solid enough, but not important, by and large. Alright, let's move on. Alright, we're now running on 8 fuel, and we're not actually all that close to places that I would say sell a lot of fuel. Irem is definitely probably the next stopping point for a good source of fuel. However, we will be stopping in Aestival, so if we have any major fuel difficulties, we can at least burn the massive quantities of supplies. I believe I ran myself out of mirror catch boxes and didn't pick up any more. So we won't be filling up with sunlight on this run. But certainly worth considering, worth planning for in the future. Alright. Oh, and the many, many sorrow spiders here we will go ahead and visit with. This isn't unsettling at all. Alright. Everything is totally fine. See, my terror is even in the green. I'm not floating through a web of spiders larger than I am. Oh god. That's not a giant crab looking to murder my face. No. 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 Okay, this is the power of high veils. That crab is right alongside me, and he doesn't realize I'm there. Okay. Alright. Moving on. Note to self, don't go through Savior's Rocks. The nativity. Now let's meet with the emissary of spiders. He has witnessed much, yet seen nothing, since the sorrow spiders he serves harvested his eyes. Huh. Oh my goodness. I can just drop my tomb colonists off here for something. I don't think I'm going to, but it's pretty fantastic. Alright, I can also trade supplies for silk here, which is, let's see here. 2 supplies, I imagine I'd get, what, 1 silk? Maybe 2? If I get 2 silk, that's 100 profit. Or 80 profit, which is not unreasonable. And I am stopping in Aestival, so... yeah, sure, we'll go ahead and do that. 1 bolt of spider silk, totally worthless. Alright. 40 supplies for a 50 cost silk. I don't even know, man. Alright, let's move on to Aestival. Our fuel is running pretty low, so we're gonna go off and on with the lights. Terror is currently at 32, so we can handle just a little bit of terror increase. But yeah, we should make it to Aestival and Irem with no problems. We're actually not that far off. There's the Azak Boric Abyss. We've apparently discovered once before. Okay, and on to Aestival. Not only are we going to be able to fill up on supplies here, but we have the Irrepressible Cannonier's quest, so he's gonna have something he wants to do here. Well, worth doing. The Cannonier's quest is one of the most important ones to knock out. It's quite excellent as soon as you get another ship. This ship can't really do anything with the weapon that he provides, but ooh, it's mighty good anyways. Okay. Looks like I need 5 supplies to get it. Fortunately, I can get all the supplies I need right here. So, 9 supplies there, and I can dig out the prototype component. I have an outlandish artifact and something called the Seal of the Red Science. It's fairly important to note, the Seal of the Red Science... no, it's not what I thought it was. I'll have to take it back somewhere. And we'll compile the port report. And I believe that's everything we need. Time to go. Just real quick, where did he tell me I needed to go? To the Iron Republic. Okay, that's sort of the opposite direction of where I'm going right now, but certainly worth stopping at our next available occurrence. In fact, we're in pretty good shape, because one of the things we haven't done is gathered anything from Mount Palmerston, Nuncio, Pigmote Isle, these places, up at the top. So, if we move along this route, we can get to Mount Palmerston. We can buy fuel for very cheap there, which will be pretty good, because we'll be able to take that fuel, go down to Venderbite, drop off our tomb colonists, and then go basically back wherever the heck we want. We don't actually have to go back to London straight away. Alright, that's the ideal plan. I might run out of, might run a little high on terror before that happens. One of the tomb colonists has eaten our, foods. Not much we can do about it. We'll simply lose the supplies. I have certainly flung the villains overboard in the past. Either way, you lose the supplies, so not really worth spending effort on. Okay. I'm actually too far to the left. Or the right. Just skim from island to island here. Keeping land within our lights. Alright. Parabola Linden bandages. Oh, that seems good. Oh, that appears to have gone extremely well. Not only did I not lose tomb colonists for telling them to look east, looking east is really bad, But I also got parabola linen and a memory of distant shores out of it, so... And a little bit of reduced terror. So, yes, everything's good there. Maybe's daughter can search for her mother here. This place has a thing about tenses. We will collect our port report. When you will sit down to write the report, you will recall that it was written already. Who wrote it? The report records that it was already written when it was found. Who found it? The report describes another report, which will indicate the name of the finder. Where is the other report? There is a footnote, which describes when you will record its location. When will that be? When all is well, and all manner of thing is well. Irem's wonderful and amazing. You will always arrive a stranger, but when you leave, some part of you will always remain. Okay, so I've never actually been to the House of the Amber Sky before, because I never bring coffee, but I remembered to this time. And it's warm as a desert evening. We will close our eyes just for a moment, and we are dreaming. The mirror marches. Mind if I pick that up? The genial magician asks. Was he with you when you lay down to sleep? Humans rule the waking world, more or less, and the Finger Kings rule most of this place. A long time ago, some rather careless people made these images to imprison Finger Kings. I'm not so careless. I can use it to enact my revenge on the king that took my hand. He's gloating. He actually strokes his mustache with his hook. He retires to his cabin to investigate the serpent image, but emerges a day later disappointed. Different geometries, he explains obscurely. Do you mind if we pop by the Khanate? I can find one there to help me work this one out. Okay, so Khan's Heart next, which is good. That's on my list as well. We are doing well in terms of looking for things and places. Oh, but threshold. Well, everything's expensive here, and that's kind of a bummer. We're gonna buy a strange catch for sure. And we'll go ahead and talk with the poisoner. This man needs more strange catches and live specimens. I can buy those here, so maybe that's okay. Do I just buy and sell them? No. So what do I need to do? Hand over a strange catch. We'll need at least 2 useful ingredients. Okay, so I'll need things like muter salt and other things going on there. Alright, that's fair enough. I'll keep the extra strange catch, because they tend to be useful for all sorts of things. I can buy mirror catch boxes here for secrets, but that's not really worth it. I can also buy Sooth and Copper long boxes for secrets. That's not really worth it. Almost nothing here is really worth it since you pay in secrets. Fuel here is fairly expensive. I think I want to buy 1 just so I don't run out. And yeah, looks like we're otherwise good. Time to move on to Mount Palmerston. Can I make it to Mount Palmerston on 5 fuel? The answer is a solid maybe. We'll go ahead and purchase 1 more. Living a bit dangerously here, but we're doing pretty well. Okay, so let's think about this. Pigmont Isle and Nuncio, we're going to be going to Khan's Glory and Khan's Heart after we hit Mount Palmerston. So we'll probably be traveling after we hit the Chapel of Lights up to the upper sections. And the Chapel of Lights is currently on our list. So we need to visit there to deal with the Sigil-ridden Navigator. Turn our lights on for just a little bit and take a quick stop there. Oh, have I explored this? I assume so. Yes, I must have named that abyss the Kisigar Vortex. Cool. Oh, my throat is somewhat killing me, so I'll probably take a brief stop here to get a glass of water. Be right back. Great success. Okay, to the chapel. Eating of the chapel's bounty, as I've said, is not in any way bad. Certainly worth doing. Sickle-ridden navigator races towards the chapel. Requires a live specimen. Requires 2 live specimens. Those are pretty expensive. They cost some 500 echoes a piece. There are other ways to get them. I don't remember what they are. We'll get our port report, and we'll worry about the sickle-ridden navigator later. He does not have a high reward for completing his quest anyways. Abbott Horizon is to the northwest, and we're quite keen on exploring it since we're going to be trying to travel mostly above the board. Although, if we don't make a beeline for Frostbound, this could prove unhelpful. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to accumulate quite a bit of terror by traveling in the dark, but I am going to go ahead and take a stop at the Abbott Horizon. Oh, it's straight to the north? Goodness. There we are. Let's pull on in and pull out. If I had anything to do here, I've already used my beginner's luck, so there may not actually be much here beyond a port report. Oh no, I heard a story. I have 77 fragments and no more than any hunter's eyes, so I get a hunter's eye. And that's actually quite good. Gathering intelligence gets us a port report. Looking into the stars accumulates us nothing but terror, and is not at all worth it for any reason. So let's continue on. That hunter's eye, however, is quite helpful. Okay. One of these days we will remember to always set our scenes correctly. But yes, that's actually quite excellent, because the Hunter's Eye is one of the 7 things that you trade in Venderbite, where we are eventually bound. And nicely enough, now that we're up in the north, we can travel without our lights off by simply skimming along these rocks. Incidentally, these rocks generally won't light up until you shine a light on them. This is the way that you uncover a lot of the map and learn a little bit. There may be something to the south. The Ragged Crow. I don't know what the Ragged Crow is. This is the Ragged Crow. It is simply a lighthouse. Okay. Nonetheless, it's good to know about. Lighthouses are quite excellent because you can move inside them and accumulate some light that'll help defend you against terror. We're running fairly low on fuel, but something will await us in port when we get to Frostbound, and that is almost always worth at least 1 supply. Which would be just enough to get us to Mount Palmerston. I like to live dangerously when it comes to fuel. I like to plan my battles such that I can skimp by without getting into too much trouble. Keep my holes nice and keep my hold open. Keep a lot of money. My terror is now over 50, so such things are going to happen. We mostly need to worry about it getting a little bit higher than that. And I think that we can avoid that pretty easily by stopping off in Vanderbilt and making a couple of the more simple trips. Alright, well, another supply lost. That's actually quite bad for us because you always want to have 2 supplies on hand to convert into fuel. Okay. A sailor's run mad. I can't talk her down. I could potentially capture her alive, but I've got the chance of losing another sailor in the process, which would put me at half speed. We'll shoot her. Oh, I've lost 2. Okay. If I lose another sailor, I am in serious, serious trouble. So I must find a way to hire on new sailors, or take a stop back in fallen London. So we are certainly at the threshold of disaster at this point. Yeah, terror this high, certain things that are bad will happen. And you can spiral somewhat out of control. Alright. Take tea with the squatters at the dock. Losing 10 terror, giving us a fuel and a supply. Absolutely perfect. Precisely what we wanted. And now we go to Mount Palmerston. Okay. And we have more than enough fuel to turn our lights on here. As long as we avoid that snowstorm, we're happy to get to Mount Palmerston with plenty of money to spare. And just, yeah. It's very tempting when you leave your first port, when you leave fallen London, to spend all of your money and just leave very little left. But there are certain runs like this one where you're going to spend a lot of money to gain progress in other areas, which will eventually pay you back in massive dividends. The port report looks like we don't have something awaits us. We also don't have a soul, so not really any reason to worry about that in the first place. Here we can buy the Zoop that we were thinking about. Is it 5 or 7? I was saying it was 350, so that would be 7, yes, because I thought it was... Oh, shoot. I'm gonna buy 7 just to be safe. If that ends up being too much, that's actually not too bad a deal, because we can sell the Zoop other places. Alright, and now that we've hit Mount Palmerston, I believe the next place to go is Vanderbilt. A friendly tramp steamer will show us the way. We can stop in Wither or Codex from Utersalt if we so choose. That's really not a terrible idea since we're so very close and already on the way. I can see that being reasonable. And seems like a solid diversion. Let's go ahead and do it. Sound the all clear. Not sure how long I had that on. continuing to manage light here, of course. And yes, let's just go ahead and move on. I don't know what happens with the something awaits you when you hit to Codex, actually. Very often I will just skip Codex and go straight to Wither. But this seems perfectly reasonable, so let's give it a shot. Oh, there isn't actually anything you can do with something awaits you in Port and Codex. We'll just compile that Port report and move on. This place is surprisingly short on things to do. Codex is one of the weaker areas. You just kind of stop there and get an extra Port report. Annoyingly, there's a lot of snow here, which is going to substantially slow us down when we actually turn. We might avoid it entirely, though. Indeed, we're just on the outskirts of the snowstorm. Alright, Baby's daughter has some searching to do here. Oh! Goodness gracious, we found her mother. That was somewhat unexpected. She wants my tattoo, the Gambit. Alright, that gets me an extra page, and I also get to speak with her mother, which gets me more strategic information. All of Maybe's qualities are now gone, and a secret has been earned. Was surprisingly, yeah, that was fairly short overall. Typically you will... Oh, I didn't actually know you could gain Storm's attention in the House of the Question. Fascinating. With a live specimen and a cask of mushroom wine. Huh. Interesting. But I don't have a curse, so I'm not too worried about it. Shoreleave and Wither... costs 50 echoes, but my terror is rather high. Let's go ahead and try it. Oh, 5 terror, not worth it. We'll get that port report, and we will try exploring the town. And we'll try the shredded jellyfish. We gained a terror, sadly. Would have been nice if we had succeeded that. I'm pretty sure it would have reduced it up to 10 terror, but you can't get everything you want. Alright, so at this point we're sitting pretty at 46 out of 50 terror, which means we can return to Fallen London with less than 50 if we're very, very careful. So that's something that might actually be worth doing, since we're going to stop in Venderbite, and we're going to accumulate a decent amount of money and cash. So I think we'll probably call our trip a little bit short here, as opposed to moving on to Khan's Glory and Khan's Heart. We got basically everything that we need to return to Fallen London, and that is a life berg ahead of me. Let's turn our light off. Oh goodness, we're passing a little too close. You don't see me. Indeed, you have never heard of me. And I am gone. Alright. Yeah, with Terror 48, I can reduce it again a little bit in Venderbite, and we won't have to worry about or deal with nightmares when coming back to London. Plus we can pick up the one particular person that we forgot to pick up last time, and get that show on the road. There's Venderbite. We're returning with 12 full tomb colonists, which is extremely good. I've actually never done that before, and I know the reward for it is quite fantastic. Alright. A full complement. I didn't lose one. That's never happened before. There's a chorus of surprise protest from the colonists on deck. Oh, shut up, she snaps. You're all here, aren't you? Right, last installments, please, so I can pay the nice captain. Incidentally, one of those people is not a tomb colonist, but rather someone dressed up in bandages so that I get my payment. I get Whoa, 1,500 echoes and a judgment's egg. That is... okay, it's more than worth it to keep a hold of those tomb colonists. My. 1,500 echoes is a substantial improvement over the 1,000 that I've earned before. And a judgment's egg is an item worth about 700 that is also of crucial importance to the Irrepressible Cannoneer's quest. In fact, I believe, even in my current journal, I must take the seal and a judgment's egg to the Iron Republic, which means that we are doing pretty well. Alright. We're kind of on a roll right now with the various quests that we're doing. I'm pretty tempted to continue that roll. In any case, the first curator. The first curator will take this hunter's eye that I've just received in the Avid Horizon, and I will get Pelican, which is a captivating treasure and a hunting trophy. That's 1,000 echoes solid. Straight up. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll depart for now. The Vengeance of Jonah. I can offer a strange catch to get some supplies and maybe pay some money. Yeah, let's see how that works. 5 echoes, 3 supplies, and 1 strange catch lost. So let's see here. Let's work the math on that. Supplies cost 20 apiece. The strange catch costs 25, so I earned 65. 45 profit, actually. That's not bad. I can't really sell supplies for profit, so it's not as good as it seems, but it's a good way to achieve some supplies with a fairly minimal amount. It's probably always worth it to buy a strange catch or two in Iram if you're going to be heading back to Vendor. Alright. With that done, we can sample today's special for 60 and potentially reduce our terror. Yeah, reduced by 5. Okay, 45 terror. Oh, I kind of want to go back out to sea right now, but unfortunately London is calling, and I cannot think of a single good reason not to go back to London right now. We're simply too close. And we have only 4 crew members. There are just a couple of things that are far too wrong with our current setup in terms of how much terror we've accumulated and how much fuel and supplies we have. We need to cut this short. So we'll go ahead and do that. But we'll do it while exploring this lovely, lovely coastline. I believe we can even discover some things. That might be discoverable. Maybe? Pretty please? Yeah, Davies Bay. Okay, so we're not heavy on outlandish artifacts, I don't believe. Prick finger wastes. No reason not to conserve fuel here. And this close, while also in light, one of the many advantages of being around Fallen London, I don't need to accumulate terror at all. Continue to skim. These lights will take care of me. Oh, what a joyous place Fallen London is. Okay. Scoot on in. Typically I follow those lamps in, but I actually think that this is better. And certainly not terrible. Alright. Yes, we will absolutely go with Maybe's daughter to the Penstock Land Agency. There's another sea beneath the bazaar, she declares, a paler sea. I'd imagine you might make the bargain your mother made. I helped her go down there. She took a terrible chance that on the bazaar is not well, not now. Are you certain? So, I was hoping to do some of the Salt Lions quests which improve the bazaar, and that will make it a 1% chance that she does not come back. But instead it's something like a 40%. It's substantially higher. Nonetheless, we cannot let her not follow her dreams, so we will do so. And she made it. One more tattoo that no one will ever see. And we get an outlandish artifact. And Maybe's daughter has been upgraded. Alright, and I've finally been selected for an inspection. Let them do their worst. Alright. Collect messages from the Harbor Master. Blind Bruiser would like a word. Let us be sure to accept the commission to mount Palmerston. An unstamped crate of brilliant souls. Alright, payoffs. Trinkets to the waiting man, 100 echoes. Always good. I don't think we have anything else that's waiting. No, we do not. We have a new recruit available. Looks like it's just a sailor. So let's go ahead and first try hiring on new crew. We only gained 2, so it's absolutely worth it to get the 5 echo sailor here. Ta-da. My lodging. Let's visit my study. Can I build something cool? I can make a shrine to stone. That'll increase my hearts by 7 and allow me to equip an auxiliary item worth a further 7, but it requires a captivating treasure, so fuck that. Yeah, not in a million years. If I were making the Song of the Sea, then I would probably do that, but by and large I think that's really dumb for not doing that. Let's remember to do the invitation to Benthic College this time around. We get to attend a lecture. It's quite beautiful. This person knows how to pack a haul. She's a delightful adventuress, a modern daring archaeologist. She receives a standing ovation, and then we sip brandy by the fire, and she tells me she wants to go to the Empire of Hands. I'm absolutely willing to carry her along. She goes into my hold. Now I've got quite a lot of stuff in my hold. The Venturer's Desires. He wanted 7 zoop. I happen to have 7 zoop. So here's 1,000 echoes. And now we can see, what else does he want? 700 echoes for 7 bales of parabola linen. Oh my. Oh my. Such exotic tastes. Such far off and fantastical dreams this man has. Alrighty then. I don't even know if I actually made money off of that. 700 echoes, those are I think 120 apiece. But it was worth it to go ahead and get him onto something else, such as a Lord Flute Core for 1,000 or 1,000 for 7 caskets of sapphires. Neither of those are going to be particularly likely for a while, so we'll leave them alone. This man will take my captivating treasures for 1,000. Great way to increase favor as antiquarian, and can't sell them for more anywhere else, so definitely do it. Do not give him the Judgment's Egg. I am keeping that for myself. Spectacled Admiral. Oh, hold on a sec. Let's use our strategic information. Oh my, I need high mirrors for this. That's okay though, because I seem to have quite a lot of secrets stored up. I have 8. Okay, well, no, this is worthwhile. Yeah, we actually know where we're going, so hold on a moment, man. Alright, speak to. Give me mirrors. How many mirrors do you increase yourself, sir? 6. Okay, let's equip you as first officer. And we will go into our hold and try to make sense of this memory of distant shores. Congratulations, we have achieved some vital intelligence. Do that one more time, another bit of vital intelligence. The Spectacled Admiral, here is the vital intelligence. 350 echoes. Oh, and he tells me a little bit about this other colleague of his, the voracious diplomat, who will pay me 150 more for vital intelligence. At the moment, I'm more interested in the vital intelligence going to him because I'm trying to build up supremacy in London. The Voracious Diplomat builds up some supremacy with the Dawn Machine as well, I think, which is totally fine, but that's a sizable amount of money, nonetheless. Yeah, okay. And what do you need? What's my commission? Frostfound in the north. Lovely. So this is my favorite thing about the Admiralty commissions. You can cancel commissions to Frostfound by convincing him not to send you to Frostfound. And instead he will send me to the Mangrove College, where it is warm and nice, and I need not do all that much. Let's ask him what he thinks of the Voracious Diplomat. Okay, good to know. Alright, next up, port reports. Demoz Island, Guider's Morn, Hunter's Keep, Palmerston, Godfall, Venderbite, Wither, Shepherd Isles as fact. That was a Veils challenge, but we get a lot of echoes from it. And we have high Veils, so... good stuff. I don't remember what that one was. The Abbot Horizon, the Mangrove College, Polythreme, Frostfound, Aestival, the Chalony, Codex, and Irem. Not a bad travel log overall. Not as big as the last two that we've had. We're now sitting pretty at 4,760 echoes, which is actually enough to buy a new boat if we so choose. Probably not going to do that, but we'll take a look at it. Since we visited the Abbot Horizon, this Christmas story is now open. I'm not going to use it because I don't have a very good engine on my ship, and quite frankly, it's terrifying. So we'll probably leave that one alone for at least one more round about London. Do a carousal in the Rolfstead Docks, get some recent news, good times, and then I can go back to my lodgings and rest to heal the rest of my terror away. That's 200 echoes for all of that terror gone, but I'd say it's completely worth it. Okay. Serene aquariums are terrible and I don't want them. Anatomical cabinets are interesting and only require lamentable relics, which I think are fairly easy to get. But we're not too largely concerned with them. Okay. Roser's Wharf, looking for solid flute. And that outlandish artifact. Yeah, sure, let's try this. 150 echoes for an outlandish artifact is not bad at all. That is a little bit of extra money that you would not otherwise get. And it looks like that actually gets rid of the Rose Wharf. Okay, cool. We can now pick up agents with the Voracious Diplomat. Absolutely worth doing. I don't think they even go into the hold. Yep, good, good, good. Not gonna sell our outlandish artifacts as per usual, but we will sell one Memory of Distant Shores, just to increase our Farragher's Antiquarian. And I guess we can sell a snippet as well. Yeah, good 50 echoes, why not? Okay. So with all of that done, our terror is now at 7. It's pretty low. We could have perhaps kept it high and gone up to the surface. But I think that was actually not a bad deal overall. So when we come back, we will consider what ship to buy and where to go next. Whether or not we want one of these fantastic Admiralty specials, or if we're going to move on and try to build a new ship. The answer to both of those questions is probably no, but there are certainly some options. Oh my, the Corvette is available. The Corvette is certainly available, and that is not unreasonable at all. We will consider that. Until next time, I will see you. I have been Pojo. I hope you guys had fun, and see you next time. We might even resume today.